So you've chosen to use Dr. Harvey's for your dog. Know that you've made a great choice to keep your dog happy and healthy. Now that you've received your bag, let's talk about how to make the food. While it may seem a bit daunting at first, once you get the hang of it, you'll realize just how easy it is to make fresh homemade meals for your dog in just minutes. Okay, let's start. Once you open the bag, you will see the mix, an oxygen absorber, a scoop to measure the food, and a small pamphlet which is the feeding guidelines. You should discard the oxygen absorber. Begin by putting the correct number of scoops into a bowl and simply add the suggested amount of warm water and stir. Let the mixture sit for about 8 to 10 minutes before adding the appropriate amount of meat and oil. Stir and feed your dog an amazing homemade meal. You can also add any supplements your dog may need just before feeding. The amounts shown in the feeding guidelines are daily amounts, or the amount your dog should eat in one day based on his or her age and weight. This amount can be fed in 1, 2, or 3 meals. If you choose to cook the meat, it should be weighed when it is raw, before cooking. If you choose to use eggs, 1 large egg counts as 1½ ounces of protein. Open the feeding guidelines and look for the measurements that are right for your dog. Measurements are based on the age and weight of your dog. If your dog is between the ages of 18 months and 7 years, you will use the chart for adult dogs. If your dog is a puppy or a senior, choose the appropriate chart. If your dog has health challenges, you can tailor the meals to fit your dog's needs. For example, if your dog has kidney issues, consult the Preparing a Low-Protein Diet chart in the Feeding Guidelines pamphlet. If your dog needs to lose weight, use the guidelines for the amount that your dog should weigh, not the amounts used for their current weight. Dogs should lose weight slowly and steadily, and they will do that easily using this food. Find the column that shows the weight of your dog, and this line will show you how many scoops of the base mix to use, how much water to add, and how much protein and oil to add. So what kind of protein should you add? You can use beef, chicken, turkey, pork, duck, lamb, fish, or eggs. We suggest using a variety of meats and switching proteins daily or weekly. The beauty of the base mixes is that you can use a variety of meats, and it's up to you to choose the quality of the meat that best suits your budget and your dog's needs. You can also avoid giving any protein that your dog may be sensitive to. You can use raw, very lightly seared, or fully cooked meat, whichever works best for you and your dog. You can also add organ meat for variety and added nutrition. When choosing what oils to use, we also think that variety is important, and so we recommend rotating oils daily or weekly. You can choose from fish oil, coconut oil, hemp seed oil, flaxseed oil, sesame oil, or olive oil, or any high-quality oil. It is important to use fish oil as one of your choices in your rotation. You can make each meal as you go, or you can conveniently make the base mix in larger quantities ahead of time and store it in the refrigerator. You then add the meat and oil when you're ready to feed your dog. The rehydrated mix can be stored in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. The mix can also be frozen in individual containers and defrosted and brought to room temperature when you're ready to feed. Always add the oil just before feeding. Never freeze the oil with the food. This is a very convenient way to leave the food for your dog sitter if you're going to be away. So what if you have a picky dog who doesn't take to the food right away? Here are some tips and tricks that can get even the pickiest dog to love this wonderful and healthy food. Dogs who have been fed kibble may need a little coaxing as the taste and texture is so new. But most dogs love the food right away. Even the really picky ones may surprise you when they get to taste real food. But if your dog doesn't want to eat the food at first, try rehydrating the mixture with bone broth or low-sodium chicken or beef stock. Use coconut oil for the first few days, as most dogs love the taste. If your dog is still being picky, begin by just adding a very small bit of the mix, using mostly protein and whatever your dog loved before, and each day increase the amount of the Dr. Harvey's mix until your dog gets used to the taste and texture of the new food. Make sure to mix the meat in thoroughly, and if you're cooking, add the drippings from the pan. Most dogs end up loving this way of eating. These suggestions may not work well for dogs with kidney issues. These dogs tend to have diminished appetite, and increasing the protein is not a good solution. For them, start slowly with Dr. Harvey's. You can add stock, but not bone broth. How quickly should you transition your dog to Dr. Harvey's from the food you are currently feeding? While most dogs transition easily to Dr. Harvey's with no digestive upsets, if your dog tends to have a sensitive stomach, you may want to start slowly and transition by feeding just 1/4 of the Dr. Harvey's mix with 3/4 of the meal made from their current food. After 2 days, increase to half the old food and half Dr. Harvey's. Then, after 2 more days, decrease the amount of the old food and increase the amount of Dr. Harvey's until you have made the complete transition. Feeding Dr. Harvey's gives you complete control over the quality of the meat and oil that you use. It allows you to give your dog a variety of foods, which is so important for their health, while knowing that they are getting what they need to thrive. If your dog is healthy, Dr. Harvey's can help you to maintain vibrant health for a lifetime. If your dog has health challenges, you can use this food to rebuild their health and immune system. Dr. Harvey says, health begins in the kitchen, and our foods are designed to make it easy for you to bring good health to your dog every single day.